Hello, I'd like to share with everybody some events that led up to me receiving a double blessing from the Lord. I'm a mechanic. I worked for a company. I didn't like the company. I prayed for a new job. I half-heartedly looked for a new job. I was studying this book called The Blessed Life. In this book, it shows how tithing, generous giving, how the Lord has blessed people in certain ways. This is a very good book. If you haven't read this book, I strongly suggest that you read this book. It's really good. So anyways, while I was reading the book, I remembered a long time ago there was a girl on K-Love, and she was witnessing and telling people about how she prayed every time she was going to tithe, and she would ask the Lord, how much would you have me give? And the Lord told her 13%. So she gave 13%, and shortly after she gave 13%, she received a financial double blessing. And I remembered that, and I thought, wow, that's great. So I prayed to the Lord, and I asked the Lord, how would you like me to spend my money, and how would you like me to spend my time? I never received the response from the Lord, so I gave 13%. I just wanted to see what would happen if anything did happen. So I'm out one day, and I'm getting a haircut, and the girl that's cutting my hair is telling me about her brother, how her brother's a mechanic, and he's out of work, and he's looking for a job. I said, just give me his number. I said, I'll try to hook him up with my company. I explained that I was a mechanic. So I call him up, and I'm telling him about my company and how there's always positions open, and there's locations everywhere. And while I'm telling him about the work and everything, the Spirit is stirring in me strongly. I didn't know why, but I just put it in the back of my mind and thought, must be something. So about a month later after that, I received this strong urge to quit my job. It was this gut feeling. It was an overwhelming feeling. And I tried to ignore it, and it just got stronger and stronger. So I put in my 2-week notice, and I quit my job. Well, I went to my Bible study, and I was going to ask them or request prayer for help for finding a new job. So while we were in this Bible study, we were reading this book right here called Experiencing God. This is a great read. This is a great study. This explains how you recognize God's favor, how to recognize where the Lord is working, how He uses people in your lives, and how He moves through your lives, and how His Spirit leads you. And it's just a great book. Everybody who studied it says that they said it's a plus. So my Bible study, I told them, I said, I need a job where I'm not working Sundays. I need a job where I'm not working evenings, because I'm going to start my Bible college soon. And I want the Lord to maximize me for His kingdom use in whatever job He places me. So everybody in the Bible study agreed, and we all prayed for it. So I got my resume together. I sent it out. I got a bunch of calls. I set up a bunch of interviews. My first interview, a guy interviews me. He tells me, he says, I want to give you $30 an hour. I want you to work 12 hours a day. I want you to be on call 24/7. So I'm like, this was a lot of money. I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is great. But it wasn't what the Lord wanted me to do. It just wouldn't allow me to go to Bible college. It wouldn't allow me to go to church. So I turned it down. So I get a call from a headhunter. These people are trying to help me find a job, and they're telling me that I'd be a great placement in this company. So I'm like, okay, I'll go for an interview. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe this is the Lord working in my life. Maybe this refers back to the other person that I was helping when the Spirit was stirring in me. So I go to the interview, and while I'm in the interview, I notice God's favor. The gentleman tells me that I won't be working Sundays, and I won't be on call, and I won't be working evenings, which will allow me to go to Bible college. And we negotiate a wage, and it's more money than what I was making before. I went away from the interview, and I felt great. So I had another interview lined up, and I go to the other interview, and it's the same thing. They tell me, you won't be working Sundays, you won't be on call, you won't be working evenings. And I thought, wow. And they offered me even more money than my first interview, the one that I accepted. But I didn't notice the Lord's favor working in that interview, and I told him, I said, I'll have to think about it, and I'll get back to you. So that evening I went home, I thought about it. The next morning I called him and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go another way. So I called up the individual I interviewed before, and I told him, I said, listen, I just came from an interview. They offered me more money. I said, I want you to know that I turned it down. I said, I have a good feeling about you and your company, and I'm going to go with that. And he goes, what company did you interview with? And I told him the name of the company and what type of work I'd be doing. He says, I'll tell you what. He says, I'm going to give you $1 more an hour. And I said, wow, I thought that was great. So He says, I want you to come in, get your drug test done and your background search done. I said, okay. So I come in, I get the background search all done and everything, and then I'm waiting. And it was about a 2-week wait. And meanwhile, I have all these other interviews and offers coming in. And while I'm waiting, this doubt keeps coming into my mind that what happens if this job falls through while I'm looking for while I've got all these other offers coming in. And I thought, well, this is negative and this is not God's will. So I moved positively and I bought $1,200 worth of new tools and I just waited to start my new job. Well, I start my new job. The first day I come in and it's all paperwork. It's all about safety, procedures, about the company, health benefits. I mean, it's almost like 300 pages worth of information. We sit down I get called into the office at the end of the day and he gives me this piece of paper and he tells me this is the piece of paper that has your wage on it. It goes to HR and I need you to sign it. So I get the piece of paper, I look at it and I look at the wage and it's $1 more an hour than what he told me over the phone. And I give it back to him and I go, I think you made a mistake. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, it's $1 more than what you told me over the phone. He goes, no. He goes, this is what we agreed on. I said, it's very generous. I said, I'll take it. And he says, no, are you sure? He goes, I could have swore that we decided on this amount. And I said, no, and it's very gracious, and I'll take it. I grabbed a piece of paper, I signed it, and I gave it back to him. That's when I realized I received my double blessing. So I would like to thank Jesus Christ for allowing me to witness this testimony. Everybody who's hearing this and seeing this video, I wish that you would take advantage of this and that you would receive your double blessing. Thank you.